What's up, guys? It's Migs with Market Open. Had a quick morning this morning. Took two trades, one on SKX and then the other one on Team. Actually, I had the same risk on both, but I only ended up losing $100 on Team and 190 on SKX, and I'll show you guys how I did that. Let's see. SKX I actually posted on the Facebook group yesterday, so if you guys have not joined us, make sure to do that. Let's see here. I'll show it to you guys candle by candle. It was at 934. I shorted it. So right here. So you see this hit right here, the 9. So it kind of looked like it was starting to fail. I was actually hoping it bounced a little higher. Let's see here. Make sure that's the right one. Where did I get filled? 1, 2, 3. Right 934. Yep. So right here I got filled with the stop right here at 32.20, 300 shares because it was kind of far, so we're looking at somewhere around 60 cents or so. Let's see here. I covered right at 943, 3/4 of the trade. So we're looking at right around here. So covered 225 shares, and then the other I covered 35 at 30.79, and then 40 as we popped up and over 31. Now, as you can see, it actually ended up going down lower towards my perceived target. So SKX had, which is Skechers. So I'm not really surprised how low they're going, because who really wears Skechers? Somebody in the room said that a lot of Asian countries still wear Skechers, so maybe that's where their sales are coming from, but none of my friends still wear Skechers, I know that. But yeah, so there were two different levels here. Let me pull up the daily. This is the reason why I actually pulled or leaned so heavy into it. You guys can actually see that there's two significant levels here at the pivot. Right at the bottom of this candle is what? 30.41. And as you can see, this is where the first pullback took place. And the second one was at the gap fill entrance right down here at 30, which is the bottom of this candle, which is at 30.07 is when the gap will start to fill. I kind of expected a lot more selling into this, but it actually really might happen on the way back down here. So maybe we'll start filling this gap. There's a pretty big gap that needs to be filled here. The high of this candle is 25.29. Now, the importance with, if you guys don't know what filling the gap is the importance with that is that 80 to 90% of gaps get filled. And well, statistically, I believe it's like 70% of gaps get filled within the same day. 80 to 90 get filled within a 10-day span. And after that, it goes higher. I forgot what the statistic is on that. So now that Skechers has initiated going into this gap, most likely it will fill it all the way back down to 25 or so. It's just really quite the timing. That's going to be more of a swing trade, really. And you might actually look for some continuation for the next couple of days on this. Now, the next trade I took was on Team. Team did not do so hot for me. There were two levels that there was basically a window that I knew that I had to trade within. So actually I'll leave that there. So the window that I had, basically, I knew we were starting down here at 54.50 where we opened up. So 54.60 really is where we opened up. Now, I had the 50-day moving average above, and then I had a couple levels of support right below the 52 area. So I knew I had that window and that much for it to fade. And then this is basically where we start finding some levels of support. We had this 51.80, 50.88, and then obviously we have the whole number of 50s. So I would probably start covering somewhere in the 52 if we ever got down there, but that never actually ended up happening. Got faked out on this completely. But I did reduce my loss by half, which is definitely a good thing. Now, I'll show you guys how I did that. I've actually talked about it before. Now, okay, so like I said, we have the 50-day moving average above. So, and you were starting to see these candles here where it's like hitting it and then kind of coming back. So there's a lot of resistance there. Now, my main target was going to be, let's see here, 56. I got short down here, I feel like. I feel like I was waiting for a lower high to form, so let's see, I got filled at 56.10. Oh, no, actually sorry, that's not. So right here, you see we're kind of bounced twice. So I put my entry right at 55.60, I believe, and I actually got filled at that, which is surprising, with my stop up here. So I had not gotten triggered yet at this point. Let me remove this drawing. So I said, okay, so if it goes below 55.60, then I think it's going to fall, and it should continue with my stop up here, high day. Now, as you can see, it's heading down lower, and it has these upper wicks. So it still hasn't triggered yet. Boom, triggered right here in this candle, right at 938. As you can see, I got filled right here at 938, 200 shares, stop high a day. All right, cool. Now, the thing is that it immediately came right back up. And I'm like, okay, well, we didn't technically form a lower high yet. I mean, we have these candles right here, which just kind of, what's it called? It's just kind of sloping off, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, now it's kind of starting to form this lower high. Now this, I think right here was my top. So I just kind of connected the dots here. Hold on. Extend to the right. Okay, so now if it goes above this point, which was high is 56.05. Actually, I think there might have been one more. Actually, it was right here. So let me redraw that. Remove drawing. Let me redraw that right there. Right there. Man, this thing is there. Jeez. Okay. Now let me extend this to the right. Now, statistically, if this goes higher than this spot, if it just kind of sells off and it turns around and comes back, that would be an ABCD pattern. So what an ABCD pattern is a high, it makes a dip, which is the B, and then it makes a lower high, which is the C, and then D would be the high of this would be your entry, right? So if you guys are not familiar with the ABCD pattern, you can YouTube it. There's plenty of tutorials out there. So now, we have a high, then we have a lower high, but if it crosses that lower high, I expect it statistically for it to head back towards high day, so there's no reason for me to be in it. So remember, I got triggered right here at 55.66. And right here, I believe, is when I got kicked out. So team triggered right at 9:38, team kicked out right at 9:52. So, oh, no, never mind. I got kicked out right here. Yep, I got kicked out right there. Okay, so my initial drawing was actually right there. Remove this. So remember that the ABCD pattern, so this is basically the lesson for the day. Extend this to the right. So this is lessons for the day. If you have a high, a lower high, and you're short, that's fine. Now, you would need for it to cross down here for it to just to keep dropping. But if it starts curling back up and it starts going above that lower high, then you should most likely get out or start lowering your position, maybe cut it by half or something. So that's how you're going to be able to reduce your risk, because an ABCD pattern is a long pattern, basically. So if you're going long, it's good for you, but you wouldn't typically want to go long on something like team that's gap down, has a major moving average right above it. So most of the time, something like this would go in my favor. But apparently there's a lot of investors that want to get into this. Maybe they overreacted or, something of that nature. I'm not really quite sure what the news is. Completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I trade patterns and price movement. So remember that. If you see an ABCD pattern and you're short, if you go above the lower high, that's when you need to start lowering your position. So that's why I was able to cut this down from $200, because if I would have gotten kicked out of here at 56.50, I would have lost the full $200, and I would have made nothing on the day. So today, $90, not really that much. Let me actually keep scrolling forward. So as you guys can see, up and kicked out. So there, and we are way up here at 59. So up 3 points. It could have been a lot worse. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you have not joined us yet on their Facebook group, make sure to do that. The link will be down in the description below, where I post my watch list for you guys every single day. Lastly, if you guys are curious on how I learn how to trade, I provided you guys with a discount code in the description. It comes with one-on-one mentoring, classes, and buying power, so make sure to take advantage of that. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.